Consciousness with your dear friend, your host, yours truly, Zach. Check out the shirt. Listen, be still. No, sit, be still, and listen. Tree of life. We love it. That's going to be our topic. No, it's not going to be our topic. It's going to guide our topic today, which is what? It's manifesting at this lightning speed because of these Buddhist principles. Now, I've been really talking about these Buddhist principles for those of you who've been watching this video. And if you know them already, go ahead and throw them in the comments down below. We call them the four immeasurables. Well, Buddhists call them the four immeasurables. And these principles are going to completely transform your emotional state, your vibrational field, right, which tends to equal your thoughts and your emotions. That's your vibrational field. So these four immeasurables, I've talked about them a lot. We're going to talk about them again right now, and I'm going to name them off for us. Number 1, loving kindness. Number 2, compassion. Number 3, sympathetic joy. And number 4, equanimity. So what are these things? Well, obviously, loving kindness, extending compassion, extending love, right? Thinking kind thoughts for all beings. May all living beings be happy. Number 2, compassion, right? May all living beings be free from misery and the causes of misery, right? I wish nothing but the best for others. I wish you nothing but joy, and I wish you to be free from your suffering. Number 3, sympathetic joy. May all beings have the causes of happiness and be devoid of misery. I think that's what it is. So I want others, I'm going to feel joy when others are joyful. I'm going to celebrate other people's wins. I'm going to show enthusiasm for other successes, right? Sympathetic joy. And then 4, equanimity. Equanimity. May all beings be free from prejudicial judgments and have non-attachment. So it's that steadiness of mind, equanimity, steadiness of mind. This is because that is, right? That's our Taoist principle, right? The yin and the yang, recognizing that this is because that is. I cannot have this without that. And so, when we practice these 4 principles, why are they so effective at supercharging our manifestations? Well, I don't think it's really that difficult to recognize when you think about it, because my vibrational state equals my point of focus tied in with my emotional state. The emotions are the guide telling us how in alignment or out of alignment we are with our inner beings through our thoughts. So am I right now in alignment with my inner being, within my own thinking? I'm going to feel joyful. The further I am from my inner being, the further out of alignment I am, the further in resistance I am, the worse I feel. So despair is complete disconnection with the inner being, right? As far from my inner being as I possibly can get within my own thinking, within my own behavior, etc. And so, when we practice the 4 immeasurables, these 4 principles, what happens is our vibration automatically rises. Joy, appreciation, love, bliss, enthusiasm, those are all very high vibrational frequencies. High vibration, those are emotions indicating that right now I am in direct alignment with my inner being. And so, when I am feeling happiness for others, when I'm wishing nothing but goodness, happiness and kindness and love for others, I'm immediately, and I'm feeling that, I'm immediately in the vibrational frequency matching my inner being, which means that all things that I desire are going to come into alignment quicker. The reason things don't come into our experience is purely because of our lack of alignment with our inner being. Our inner being is living the thing that you so dearly desire right now in this moment. The reason you do not have that reason you do not have that manifestation is because you are purely resisting it. People do not want to take responsibility for it. Heck, I don't want to take responsibility for it at times either. But the reason we are not now living in our desired reality is simply because we are not in vibrational alignment with the experience. What that really means is right now I am paying too much attention to the things that I do not like and less attention to the things that I do like. Or, right, I'm paying too much attention to what is, to the contrast of my life. But when we incorporate those 4 immeasurables, I can then look to joy for others. I can get away from my selfish little egotistical world, and I can wish happiness and love and kindness upon others. I can want others to be free from suffering. I can root for others, and I can accept that this moment is happening as it is, not needing to change it, which brings me even more power because as I accept what is, I can then look and be eager for what is coming. Right? That's been our mantra for 2026. Feel appreciation for what is and eagerness for what is coming. That's equanimity. Equanimity is not a robotic state of mind. It is not just letting people be tortured and saying, oh, that's okay. Equanimity is a state of mind that says, yes, this moment is happening and I cannot get away from it, so I'm going to accept it fully. And then I'm going to look for how this is going to change, because all things are impermanent. Everything changes. And because everything changes, I get to look for how the world will show up differently for me. Kind of ties into a recent video I saw of this woman explaining this research article that I have to look into more depth. But this research, what they did was they had a group of people, and half the group of people, they put a fake scar on their face. And so then they wanted to see how the people who had this like fake slash on their face interacted, or this mark on their face, interacted with the other people who didn't. And so what ended up happening was one of the researchers, just to like make sure the smudge was kind of stayed where it was supposed to be, they kind of wiped it with like a staying cloth. So then they interacted, and every single one of the people that had the smudge on their face, when they were asked later how the interactions went, they said that they felt the interactions were poor, that people were judging them, they didn't feel confident in the conversation, they felt pretty bad. The other group that did not have the mark said the opposite. They thought the interactions went well, everything was fine, they had like nice interactions, nice communications, everything was good. What later was discussed was that the group that supposedly had a smudge on their face, in fact, did not, because the researchers wiped the smudge off when they said that they were putting something on there to keep it in place. They were actually wiping it off. So the people who thought they had the smudge on their face then went into the interaction, into the experiment, and they anticipated how they thought they were going to interact with people, how people were going to react to them, how people were going to judge them. And as they did that, they created their own reality, their self-fulfilling prophecy. And so it has less to do with what's actually happening, right? And more with how we perceive the interaction as going. Same thing in our lives. Life is happening. There is beauty all around us. The missing tile syndrome, if we inhabit that, can say that we're paying attention to the one thing that is missing in our life, maybe the two things that are missing in our life. We can do that, or we can pay attention to the 99 other beautiful tiles in our life. And then our brain will begin looking for more of that. So is it that when we manifest, that our brain is actually just beginning to perceive all of the things that are present in our life? Or is it that something external of ourselves is actually responding to the vibration that we are emitting? Depends on who you're talking to. Got to readjust. Depends on who we're talking to. If we're talking to a spiritual metaphysician, theologian, maybe not even theologian. If we're talking to a metaphysician, quantum physicist, they'll say we are actually creating reality with our minds, with our perception. Whereas maybe just a neurobiologist or psychologist would say, we are just creating these circumstances that are already present in our own minds. I don't know. Quantum entanglement says that all things exist simultaneously. And in order for something to come into manifestation, we have to perceive it into manifestation. So an electron is in a superposition. It's moving so fast around the nucleus that it looks like a cloud because it's moving so fast. It's in a superposition from our senses. But then when we look for it somewhere, it shows up. When we actually look for it and try to find it under a microscope, it shows up. I think it's a microscope. And so if we take that into a broader perspective, all things are happening simultaneously. All manifestations are possible. All healing is possible. All relationship dynamics are possible. All financial successes are possible. The reason we don't experience them is because our perception is on typically the thing that is not wanted, the thing that has caused us to actually want that desire, meaning illness, loneliness, poverty, etc. And so it's our job to take our mind, to take our focus onto what it is that we want and act as if. What does Neville Goddard say? I forgot what Neville Goddard said, but one of his things is faith and imagination are the secrets to manifestation. So what he's saying is, as I take my perception onto what it is that I truly want, in quantum physics, as I look for the atom in a specific place, it shows up. What tends to happen, if you're like me, is we respond to external reality. Somebody is mean to us. We're not in I'm in the perfect relationship. Sorry to rub it in, but I don't know. If you're not in the perfect relationship or you want somebody to be different, you don't have the amount of money you want, your health and fitness isn't exactly where you want it to be, you keep paying attention to where you are. And so you're looking at that particular electron and it keeps showing up. And so in order to be different, you have to become different. Wayne Dyer says, we don't attract what we want, we attract what we are. It's a very powerful, whoa, I thought I just saw black in my corner of my eye, sorry. I'm seeing ghosts. But we see what we are, not what we want. So we have to begin to condition our minds, look for what it is that we want. When we start seeing signs that say, I don't know, your billboard that says $100,000, $1 million, win this, blah, blah, blah. Look for that. Say, thank you, universe, for showing me that I'm on my way, that you're bringing that into my reality. If you see people on the sidewalks that are holding hands, instead of feeling jealous and envious, say, oh, thank you, universe. Thank you, source, for showing me that I am there. I'm going to be there too. Healthy people, when you see somebody who looks the way you want to look, or looks like they feel as healthy as you want to feel, look at them and say, oh, thank you for showing me that I can also be in that state of health. When you look at that and you say yes to that, it shows up. Right? That which is like unto itself is drawn. We talk about this all the time, the law of attraction. That is the promise. That which is like unto itself is drawn. We don't get what we want. we get what we are. So in order for your external reality to change, you must change. That's why the four immeasurables are so powerful. You are changing your mental state. You are bringing yourself into immediate alignment with your inner being, with Source, with God, by wanting kindness and love and happiness for other people. You wish that for others. You were looking to others for that. You will get that. You give others compassion, you get that. You give others sympathetic joy, you get that. You are holding equanimity, a steadiness of mind, a balanced state of perspective. Nothing can sway you from holding that state of vibration, right? That emotional state, that mental state. That is the most powerful tool we have. That's all we really have. We have this, and that is all we can control in this reality. We do not have anything else. We can use this, and we can use this beautiful vessel, and we can go forward into creating a separate reality than the one that we're currently living. But we have to start here, feel the emotions that arise here, and then take the necessary inspired action steps with the remainder of our vessel, of our body. When we hold ourselves in that state of loving kindness, of compassion, of sympathetic joy, and a balanced state of mind, those four immeasurables, when we hold ourselves there, we immediately rise to the highest potential vibrational state, and what we desire has no choice but to come to fruition. It has no choice but to manifest, because you are now inhabiting the vibrational state, the state of being necessary to allow that electron, going back to the quantum physics, that electron to show up. Quantum entanglement, right? The Rumi says, what I'm seeking is seeking me. What you seek is seeking you, right? Carl Jung says, what you resist persists. So it's funny because, going off on a tangent, stay with me. When we talk about attraction, we keep bringing into our experience the things we don't want because we're staring at that electron. We're staring at the person we're unhappy with. We're staring at the person we're unhappy with in the mirror with our own bodies. We're staring at our bank account that doesn't have nearly enough money for us. We're doing all these things that are staring at the wrong electron. It's not really the wrong electron. It's just the electron that is unwanted. But yet, that electron is in a superposition. And so what you have to do in order to bring forth that new reality, in order to go forward into that new reality that's awaiting us, is take your perception to that new electron, to that new place where the electron is already sitting. All realities exist simultaneously. It's a very confusing thing to really like contemplate and recognize. But when you want to make it really simple, you just say, who I am is what my external reality responds to. So if you are truly feeling in your body love for yourself, love for others, wishing that for others, if you are truly feeling compassion for yourself and for others, if you are truly wanting the best for others and wanting to be their cheerleader, sympathetic joy, you are a vibrational match to everything you could possibly desire. You're not a specific match, you are a general match to everything you could desire. And when you are generally in that state of alignment, you will get the things that you've been asking for. The ones that have the strongest momentum, that you've been really wanting. If they have a faster momentum when it comes to, like positive expectation, those things are going to come in quicker. However, if it's something that's really important, right now, if you want something really, really bad, you've got a lot of momentum. But if you are really, really resistant to it, it's going to be a little bit difficult for you to bring that into your reality because you're going to need to soften your vibration before it will be able to show up. Usually the things that are not that important to you, the things that you've been just kind of generally wanting, the simplified simple things, those things don't have a lot of resistance to them. Hence the reason when you allow yourself to move into that state of being, this new vibrational frequency, that thing will show up into your experience quicker. The big things, the big rocks, the things that have a lot of vibrational frequency, that's not the right word, momentum, a lot of vibrational momentum to them. When you have those things take a little bit more time. It takes a little bit more patience. It takes a little bit more cleaning up on our parts. That's all that it really takes. It takes time to say, you know what, I really want this X. I really want this partner. And I think that I want this exact person, but you know what, this exact person, when I truly break it down, is not fully what I want. So I'm gonna create the exact person while writing, visualizing, making them a very specific frequency. And when we do that, and we start anticipating that this person is gonna show up into our life, we start changing the momentum, right? We get off the momentum of, I'll never have them, I'll never be with them, they don't exist, the good ones are all gone, they're all taken, yada, yada, yada. When we get off of that little spinning disc, a little vibrational tornado, and we get on and we start allowing that to settle, and we get onto the vibrational tornado of, well, there's a lot of people that have their perfect partner. Zach's one of them, and I'm listening to him right now. There's a lot of people that have the person that they really, really enjoy spending time with. There's a lot of people that have what I would like to say is my soulmate. There's a lot of people that are living really good lives with this wonderful person. You start moving yourself in the momentum realm, right? The energetic spinning realm to this area, this positive tornado. And what happens? You have no choice but to allow it to manifest. When you start to feel as if you're already living the relationship, living with the person, experiencing life with that person, cuddling with them, talking with them, making dinner with them, kissing, doing all the things, hiking, whatever it is that you enjoy, dancing, all those wonderful things. When you feel as if it's already here, that's when we get it. It's not until we change who we are that external reality shifts for us. We want so badly, I know I do, to shift external reality to make me happy. It doesn't happen that way. That's where the equanimity in the four immeasurables comes in. When I recognize that the thing that I want and the thing that I don't want are two sides of the same coin, I then have the power to just change my perspective from what it is that I don't want, the thing that's really ailing me, to recognizing that in the same coin is the thing that existing that I do want, that my heart is seeking. So when I can do that with equanimity, when I can accept that this is because that is, then I have true balance, then I have true power. Then I've alleviated the suffering that's going to ensue in my own mind and heart when things don't go my way. Then I can have a balanced state of mind and say, well, this is only temporary. This experience right now is impermanent, the good and the bad. However, I also know that there's a stream of well-being, that well-being is always flowing. I know that the universe, that God itself wants what I want. The reason that I have this heartfelt desire is because my inner being, my soul, spirit itself wants this for me. So as I begin to accept these things and I begin to remind myself of these things, I can take the steps necessary each day to meditate, to visualize, to journal and write about the things that I'm looking forward to, or writing as if I've already experienced them, right? Creating the story that I want to play out in my own life. When I begin to create the story in my own mind of what it is that I want to experience going forward in my life, that's when I am the co-creator of my experience. That's when I am the master creator, the deliberate creator of my experience. That's when I've inhabited the true meaning of what it is to be human, right? To be this spiritual entity having a human experience. When I've decided that I'm no longer going to allow external reality to dictate how I feel or how I respond, I get to choose how to respond internally and see things as all having balance, that see things that all are existing simultaneously for me, right? The quantum mechanics, quantum entanglement. That what I am seeking is seeking me. That what I want wants me. That's why I have this deep heartfelt desire. And so as I remember that, as I hold true to that, what ends up happening is I align vibrationally with it. I become a very specific vibrational match to that. My desire is on 100.7, and as I look for it, as I begin going out in my world and looking for it, I align with 100.7. Right? I'm tuning myself to the exact frequency. But if my desire's on 100.7 and I keep looking at the reality that is, right, what is, as I keep looking at the lack of resources, the lack of money that I have, and I go, I just don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. Okay, 88.9, right? We're down here. We can't possibly be in that same, we're not in the same frequency range. This frequency range is full abundance, full health, perfect relationship. But yet I keep complaining and keep thinking about and keep feeling the lack of having that in my life. And so that which is like unto itself is drawn. I will never, ever have 109 or 107 FM if I'm constantly on 88.9. And I cannot blame anybody in my life except for myself. I have to take responsibility that it is up to me to bring myself into vibrational alignment with 100.7. And I do that partially through the 4 immeasurables, right? Through wishing for loving kindness towards all beings and myself. Through having compassion for all beings and myself. For having sympathetic joy for all beings and myself. It's such an easy practice to get out of my own egocentric reality and start to wish good for others, wish kindness for others, wish others to be free from suffering, and want to rejoice in other people's successes. When I can get out of my own egotistical reality and I can start wishing that kind of kindness and love and success for others, I have no choice but to elevate vibrationally into that alignment state. That's why it feels good to get out of my own suffering and help others, right? The fastest way out of suffering is to help somebody else out of theirs. Sri Sri Ravi Shankar said that, and I really like it. The best way to remove my own suffering is to help somebody out of theirs. Doesn't mean I should go around and be a martyr and give away all my stuff and do all this, become a monk. You can if you like, if you so choose. But the fastest way to elevate your vibration is to get out of your own way and to help somebody else. Right? It's the fastest way. It gets me out of my own suffering and gives me a sense of empowerment that I have the ability to benefit somebody, even if it's with my own words, if it's writing something, if it's giving somebody a compliment, if it's smiling at somebody, if it's generally going out into your day and feeling a sense of love and reverence for all beings as you go forward from your heart and emitting that, that's enough. Just get out of your own way. Release your own resistance. The reason Buddha in his first noble truth says all of life is suffering. Second noble truth is suffering is caused by attachment to clinging. Third one is there's a way out of suffering. And the fourth noble truth is the way out of suffering, the eightfold path. So this is the way out of suffering. But those first two, you are suffering, you are finding this discontentment with life because you're clinging. Number two, you're clinging. You have this fervent desire, this hungering, this burning hungering for things to be different so that you can be happy. And so when Buddha began his teachings, right, that's how he started his teachings. If you want if you request that something change for you to be happy, right? If I need the desire for me to be happy, you'll always be imprisoned. You'll always have the chains, and you have the key in your hand. But you must have that equanimity, that steadiness of mind. Incorporate that. Recognize that this is because that is. All things work in harmony together. Good, bad, beautiful, ugly, joy, depression, they all have their place. But with the awareness, we've reached our time, with the awareness that you can change those things, that you have the capacity to change those, your state of mind and your state of being. Doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. Trust me, it won't. It'll take some time. But as you have that steadiness of mind, and you practice that day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out, with practice, you get very good at it. And then you can share that with others. You can be a guiding light for others. And more importantly, not more importantly, just as importantly, you will have the desires that you've so desperately sunk. What is the word I'm looking for? You will manifest those things that are meant for you because you've had that earnest heart desire. And voila, you can then have new desires and have a different state of mind and have, not a different state of mind, but maintain that equanimity and realize, man, this is a fun journey. Unwanted things happen, and I get to affect them positively. Life happens, and I get to accept it as it is, and I get to look for how it's going to change, because it always changes. Anyways, my friend, that's it. We hit our minute. We hit 32 minutes. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you so much. Hope this helped. Comment down below. Questions, comments, concerns. Throwing up that you like the shirt. Be well, my friends. I love you so much. From the council, through me to you, you are safe, you are loved, you are protected, and you are worthy. Use that as your mantra. You are safe, you are protected. I screwed that up. You are safe, you are loved, you are protected, and you are worthy. And Source loves you and thinks you are worthy exactly as you are. You do not need to change anything. You need to accept that about yourself. You are loved and worthy exactly as who you are right now, right in this moment. See you on the next video, my friends. Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye.